you tap on the glass if we're like, that is so weird. Why can I hear?
Yeah, let us know when you're live. Or, yeah, it was like that last week, too. You could hear everybody clapping.
Weird.
Okay, I think we are live then. Okay, cool. Okay. Hey, everyone. It's Ellie.
And Tara.
Yes, welcome. A lot of stuff happening right now, but my brother is also joining us.
Yes.
Timmy, say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so welcome everyone to the 180 podcast.
Yes.
Before I get started, all of our social medias are as follows. So Instagram, 180.shift. Twitter and TikTok is 180shift, so just without that dot. YouTube is Shift 180. Facebook is Tara, letter N, Ellie. Website is 180shift.org. So you can check us out there, learn about us, find out who we are, if you haven't already, but also follow us on our social medias because that's very important. You'll see most of our videos there, most of our clips that we do, and all the events we go to and, like, you know, fun stuff that we post.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, no, so no guests today. I think we're having a guest next week, so
Timothy is our guest.
that'll be good. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, Timothy is our guest. My brother's a guest, and he wanted to be on so badly after a while. We had him on, a little while ago, but now he's been wanting to come back on, so he's back, guys.
That's not. How old are you now?
Still 10.
So he's not even in
I
Gen
think he
Z.
was 9 though when he came on. Was he? No, he might have been 10 still.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
he's in the younger generation. He's not a Gen Zer.
He's Gen A, so that's Gen Alpha, right?
Yeah, Gen Alpha.
Yeah, that's what your kids are as well,
Yes,
I think. Yeah.
Whole different. So what's it like to be Gen Alpha?
Fun.
He says
That
it's
makes
fun.
sense.
I mean, because our generation was the last generation to grow up, like, without technology or the starting of technology.
Yeah.
Like, with phones and, like, tablets and things like that. He's purely bred on that.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I noticed so much of. It's like they've never been in a world without, like, cartoons and iPhones and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. But, yeah, I actually went to an event today.
With the horses?
Yeah, with the horses. You saw it?
I saw the flyer.
Yeah, so I went to Los Angeles. I went to City Hall. For some reason, I just can't get enough of that place.
Yes.
There's homeless encampments everywhere, all over the place. It's crazy to walk to City Hall and be like, why is there people sleeping on the lawn of, City Hall building?
Yeah.
Why are they, like, lined up?
Oh, my goodness.
Tents lined up, like, across the street from it. It's like, isn't this supposed to be, like, a really main, like, part of the city right there?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I don't know. You'd think they would take more care of the land surrounding it.
You know, it's fascinating that you bring that up because have you heard about what's happening in Chicago?
About the encampments that they were not going to build?
The sanctuary cities.
The sanctuary cities?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
there were all these Chicagoans just so upset and
They
angry.
sued, right? Are we talking about the same thing?
Did they sue? Oh my goodness.
What are we talking about?
I'm talking about the sanctuary cities that are going to be held for illegal immigrants in these parks in Chicago, and it's really affecting, like, the Black community, the Hispanic community. Like, they're all really, and they're like, we didn't ask for this, we don't want this, and
yeah. I did read an article actually today when I was doing some research. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but now that you bring it up, I did read, and we're totally jumping from a different topic, but I'll get back to what I went to today. But I read that Chicago residents are now suing the mayor, I believe, because of the camps that they wanted to build for illegal immigrants to house them.
yeah.
And apparently that it was also toxic land that they were going to be building on. So I'm not sure, like, what's going on with that situation, but I just read about that, and I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I just saw, like, a lot of anger and just standing up and just, like...
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting. It was, I recently, not too long ago, I guess, the New York mayor who said that they can't house all the illegal immigrants, but the thing is like, all of us over here on this side of, the West Coast, we've been having to deal with that, and all the other, like, states around here.
Yeah.
And then once they get a glimpse of what they basically voted for and wanted, They're
Yeah.
like, nope, no thank you.
And then the question is raised of like, well, you know, are they going to be put on these housing programs, and what's that going to look like? And there was a lot of backlash from people in Chicago. They were just like, what?
Yeah. So it sounds like we're talking about the same thing there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the event that I went to. So I went to this, to LA City Hall, like I was saying, and this was about an ordinance that was, I believe they were trying to pass, or it was, I don't know what the outcome of that was, but there was, they wanting to ban rodeos.
Like like with balls and stuff like that.
Yeah, like being able to like handle horses. You see the rope work. You've seen them, right? Where they get a cow and then
lasso,
and then the lassos and then like the bull riding and then the horses with the all the sorts of tricks that they do. It's a pretty cool thing. I mean, the rodeo.
Yeah.
I've only seen videos of them. I used to watch like bull riding on TV a lot.
Why ban the rodeo?
Okay, so a lot of animal activists are saying that it's very harmful for animals, right? Which I can definitely see the argument. I personally, I could argue that point as well, because they do use like different sort of things to train the animals and then to like make sure that they don't get out of whack or something, right? With spurs or like, I don't know,
kind of old fashioned.
Just there's things I know they're using like whips or
ropes.
Electricity was one thing that I read. I was
reading
like shocking.
Oh.
But I was reading the ordinance and it was saying that these certain items that they use for the rodeo, so train them, are very harmful for the animals.
Yeah.
And so they were saying that they want to ban the rodeo so those animals won't be harmed anymore. So you could definitely see from a very like, there's no hate in that involved. I see that would be a very like, nice thing to say, nice cause to be behind.
Yeah.
And I did see Bob Blumenfield, which he is my council member, my city council member, representing me, but apparently, right?
Yeah.
But he was outside when we got there. He was speaking outside of City Hall, and because he's the one pushing this, and he was saying that, why should animals have to be unnaturally forced to the ground with the lassos, which I think that was very interesting. Like,
yeah, like when it comes
it's
to like, I mean, I don't know. Remember that whole thing with SeaWorld? Like,
but the orcas and things.
Yeah, like they were like saying it was whatever happened with that. Like, how did it end?
I'm not sure. I think they're not allowed to have any more. I think the ones that they have in captivity right now, they can't release, obviously, because they're not for living in the ocean. But
well, you also have to ask yourself, like, when you have an animal, like let's say someone has a bull or a horse or something like that, like they do have to like feed them and bathe them and take care of them. So there's also that aspect of it is like it's not like they're being fully abused, otherwise they would die.
I wanted to talk about that in a second, but the thing is that going back to Bob Blumenfield, he said that he raised some things that he was saying. He said that Spain banned bullfighting, right? Now, that's one thing that I noted, and I immediately searched up because I was like, that's very interesting. Spain loves bullfighting, right? That's a pretty big thing that we always talk about. They're not us, but, like, people always, know Spain for that. That's a tradition thing, cultural thing. And I was looking up, behind what was happening there, and it does look like it banned it, like he was using it, but when I actually was reading, it actually said that it wasn't fully banned. It was just banned the fact that they weren't going to kill the bulls afterwards. Because that was a practice, that they would kill the bulls after the fight. Gosh. Now they're no longer going to do that.
To, like, eat them or just to...
I think they do eat them, I think.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, they use them afterwards. It's not like they're going to just throw them to waste. But
well, whoever is against this, the rodeos and stuff, like... Mm-hmm. Are they also just, like, do they also just have, like, vegan values? Like, we shouldn't kill animals in general?
I mean, okay. I did see a few people with, like, vegan stuff on. Like, they were, like, vegan hat. Like, okay, we get you're a vegan from that. I don't think all of them are vegans, but maybe they are. Like, I doubt that all of them are, but...
It's like, yes, I heard you. You're a vegan. I heard you.
The point I just wanted to raise was that it was misused and out of context was, like...
The vegan stuff?
No, the Spain was banning bullfighting completely.
Oh,
that's what I was like.
Because they were like way more intense about it. They were like killing the bulls.
Right, but they're not doing that anymore. But they still have technically they still have bullfighting, so that was just a misused point there.
I see.
But one thing that I said from the other side when I was actually talking to these people, because a lot of them are Mexican Americans.
Yeah.
This is a tradition for them, and this is not even just Mexican American, it's just American in general. Rodeos are Mexican, like, I mean, not Mexican, but and Mexican and American, right?
Yeah.
Because you see them all over the, you know, the country, and at least the South, right, or the people who do enjoy that.
Yeah.
And
no, I feel that
well,
it is
West,
something that's
of,
like, you know, you think of Mexico, you think of like rodeo culture. I mean, at least I do. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean there's
Maybe
like
that's
a certain
wrong.
practice. There's a certain practice that they do, and what they do is it's basically a rodeo. Now, very interestingly, Bump Bloomingfield said that wouldn't be touched. At all. But the thing is that if you look at what that is and what the Mexicans do and what the Mexican Americans do, it's just basically a rodeo. So they would be banning that as well. And very interestingly is...
So what was the other side of this? Was there another side that was like, no, like, leave rodeos alone?
Those were the people there. There was a majority of people who were there that were like, and most of them were Mexican. Yeah. Saying, no, this is our culture. This is ingrained in our culture. This is who we are. This is a lifestyle. And this is traditions that we want to pass down to our children. And this is very interesting is I did read some articles that said that, you know, it would actually teach respect and equality.
You know, it's
through that. So it's very interesting.
You know, it's funny. It just reminds me of like, it's like I've heard this before of like, a certain group or certain activity being attacked for being morally wrong or unrighteous or something, but it's like tied to a minority community, and then usually like the people who attack it are more like, you know, white, liberal. You know what I mean?
You know, very interestingly is the majority of the people who were fighting to get rid of rodeos were all white people. Yeah. And not to like say like this is a race issue, but I mean, the majority of people who wanted the rodeos were Mexican.
I don't know. It all just brings me back to when there were BLM protests happening, and then somebody tweeted like Hispanics are oppressed too, but you don't see you don't see them like,
marching in the street, at least not anymore.
You don't see us setting the city on fire.
Yeah.
And then Billie Eilish pulled out her phone and she was like, no. This is Blacks' time to, like, we're talking about Black people right now. We're not talking about Hispanic people right now. And it was just like, Oh, you get to decide that? Like, from... Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like, okay, like, come on. This is not... We should not be doing this to each other.
Sort of thing that the people did raise, or the people who wanted the rodeos to continue, was that the fact that they are the ones maintaining these animals. These animals do not, like... They're not, like, cheap, okay? They cost a lot of money to maintain. So why would they be abusing an animal that they know costs a lot of money? I mean... that kind of defeats, like, I don't know, logically wouldn't make sense. But also they love these animals. It's not like they're mistreating them on purpose or anything like that. Yeah. And, like, even if they did, but, like, they love these animals and you can see it when they talk about them.
Now, what about the aspect of, like, seeing if you can change the method of training them? Like, can there be, like, a less strict form? Like, I train my dog with, like, smiles and, you know, eye contact.
I don't know if many people, I mean, sure, maybe. But, that's something that's a really good question that I would love to ask, and that's what we were bringing up to some of the people there. Is I want to have them on to the podcast, actually. So
that'd be fantastic.
For you listening, I don't know if you're interested in that, but I think I personally would love to learn if there was any other ways that they could use to train these animals or to train these horses. To see if there would be a more, like, I guess, humane way of doing it. Yeah. But I did see that if you did ban rodeos, there was this guy who he does, like, stuff with lasso. I forgot exactly what he did, but probably many things. And that was his job. That was his livelihood. So if they would ban the rodeo, he wouldn't have a job anymore. Yeah. And many of those people are probably faced with that same exact situation. And if we ban the rodeo, then they're losing their job. And that's one aspect that we could look at it. Yeah. Not only from the tradition and cultural side, you can look at it from, like, these people have livelihoods and need something to live off of, right? Yeah. So that's just a few things that we talked about there. And I can see very good points from each side, to be honest. I can see very good points from each side, but one personally logically like sticks out more as I think correct. I don't know. In my own opinion, whatever worth that is.
I think we should hear what Timothy thinks about this.
I think so
too. What do you think
too.
about, should they ban the rodeos? What do you think?
Well, no.
No?
No, why?
It's a tough one, I know. Have you ever been to the rodeo?
No.
But you want to go, right? So that's, you got to keep it on the table.
He's like, you got to keep it open for me so I can see it.
Exactly. I think I've been to a rodeo for it. I think I went to a rodeo and there was like a tornado that happened.
Oh, man. Okay, cool.
It's like Colorado, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
The bullfighting and everything. I can see why bullfighting might be considered wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's not like they're killing them. I mean, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I mean, last time I went to the LA Zoo, that was a nightmare, man. The LA Zoo. there was a one of those Komodo dragon, Komodo, whatever it is, stuck in between a rock and the glass, and it was just like flailing there, and there were a bunch of kids banging on the glass, torturing this poor thing. So I don't know.
That is so terrible.
We should probably talk about the LA Zoo too. If we're going to talk about
the LA Zoo. I mean, I'm sure there's been a lot of people working on. I mean, these animal activists are everywhere. I've seen them literally. They go everywhere, and they really do like want to shut down a lot of places.
Is it like PETA? Is that PETA?
PETA was represented there, but there were some other like organizations that were working there as well. And there were some really nice ladies there that were just really wanted to do the right thing, which is amazing. And that's one thing that stood out to me about this whole entire thing is that both sides wanted to treat the horses right. Yeah. Both sides did. And very interestingly, whenever you remember the last time we visited LA City Hall, remember that was very interesting.
Was that the thing with the marching?
Yeah, the marching. You remember that one, marching in LA.
I do remember
now, what I stood out from this protest, or I guess protest, was the fact that they actually really were not trying to kill each other. Both sides were pretty peaceful, actually. I mean, there was a little moment in the beginning where they were kind of like getting a little loud, but nobody was like getting hurt, which was a miracle that they weren't trying to like assault the other side. It's really refreshing, you know.
Yeah, no, that is really true. It's nice to see. Well, I mean, I feel like even on the different sides of this, what I've been noticing, like even with that stuff in Chicago, it's like Democrat or Republican or conservative, liberal, left, right, whatever. Like a lot of these people really, whatever they're standing for, they think the majority they're doing the right thing, and they think that they're saying, you know what, I can see right from wrong based on my set of morals, and this is wrong and this is right. And that's why I thought it was so interesting in Chicago, why so many people were at the city hall standing there being like, this is wrong. Like, this is actually wrong. Like, I saw one video where a guy was like the city hall person was like, no, we're taking care of the African American community in Chicago, And then this guy, he was like, stop saying African American. He was like, I'm an American. I'm just black. Like, stop making it about, And then he was just like, my neighborhood, there have been promises that made to make my neighborhood better, and now you're gonna make it 10 times worse, putting a sanctuary city at our neighborhood park, and he was like, I have trouble getting food, and you're about to house a bunch of people who weren't even born in America. And this guy was like saying that he was a Democrat too.
Right. Oh, wow.
So it was that's what I'm saying. It was really interesting. Like these people were like, and I think I heard something else too that was saying that this because of the the way that the factions are there, that it was a mostly red state, but the factions just happened to be in the right place, so that Biden was like elected there. But majority of these guys were very anti, sanctuary cities entering their neighborhoods and stuff, and I think we're going to be able to pull up videos pretty soon on this podcast, and we're going to be able to do two things. We're going to be able to pull up videos and do reaction, like live reaction and debate.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and then all you audience members will be able to watch with us and just see these updates. And then the second thing is Zoom. We'll be able to have Zoom guests.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Yeah.
But looking at other new thing. So recently, December 1st, did you see what happened or who had passed that day?
I feel like I'm taking a test right now.
It's fine.
No, I've been so busy with my own life.
That's, you know what, that's okay. You know, we all have life.
Yeah.
But one important member in history had just passed, and her name was Sandra Day O'Connor.
No.
She was,
I'm going to Google her.
you don't know who that is.
I don't
Tara,
know.
Tara, come on. She was the first woman Supreme Court justice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a pretty big thing.
Okay. Hang on. All right. I'm ashamed now.
Don't do that. No, it's all good. But a lot of people actually believe that it was Ruth Bader Ginsburg who was the first female Supreme Court justice.
Her, I know. I know her.
She's not. It was... Is that music playing? Whose music is playing? Okay. One second.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm trying to look at her. What was her name again?
So Sandra Day O'Connor. So she was the first female Supreme Court justice, and she had just died at 93 years old, after in a battle with Alzheimer's.
Wait, was she on the Supreme Court while she had Alzheimer's?
No, she wasn't. So she actually retired in 2006 and was first appointed in 1981, I believe.
Okay.
Or at least that's when she was first nominated for that position. She was nominated by President Ronald Reagan.
Wow.
And he actually, so he was the first one to nominate and get a woman approved onto the Supreme Court. Now, she was a pretty amazing woman, actually. She was, she originally had grown up on a rural town in Arizona in a cattle ranch.
Yeah.
She really loved, like, you know, she was a cowgirl at heart.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So she's really cool. So she lived there. She was actually born in Texas, and then she eventually she graduated at the age of 16 from high school, and then went into, was it Stanford, I believe? Yes, Stanford University, where she was gonna study law, and obviously being a woman of her time at that era, she wasn't able to get hired right off the bat. So she had to go through so many different job. She had called job listing after job listing, like, please, can you hire me? Can you hire me?
Yeah.
And, she got rejected several times, many times, until she eventually had luck with this one guy who had hired a woman before, but he didn't have any money left. So she was like, well, I'll work for you until you have money, and then you pay me then. So that's what she did. And then I think her husband, who actually was a fellow student when she was in university, she got married with him, which is sweet, but I believe he started his own practice and she was able to do that. I'm not quite sure about how she, finally got her job, but I've heard both of those things from what I've read. Both of them could be true. But she was later nominated in 1981 and served nearly 25 years in the Supreme Court. And the only reason why she retired in 2006, which is the year I'm born, fun fact, she retired because her husband had advanced Alzheimer's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, which is the same thing she died of. But, and that was she retired to take on her job as a wife, her role as a wife.
Yeah.
Take care of her husband. And that's what she did. And she had an amazing life. She was even state senator, and majority leader. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she was majority leader, in Arizona before she became a Supreme Court justice.
Wow,
so she was a politician, she was a Supreme Court justice, she was a wife, she was a cowgirl. She was an amazing,
did it all, man.
Pretty cool. First woman to be Supreme Court justice.
No,
that's
thank you for
amazing.
telling me about her. Wow, that's amazing.
And I love talking about her and her story because a lot of people don't give her the credit as the first woman.
I didn't even.
A lot of people don't even know about her. And that's why I
know.
just love to talk about her because she is amazing. She was known as a moderate conservative. She was usually a swing kind of voter on issues.
Yeah.
But she was supported by both Democrats and Republicans at the time.
Oh.
When she got appointed. Now, during her confirmation hearing, there's a quote that she said. She said, she was asked because they have to go through a series of sort of a trial almost to see if they would be fit to have that role. And she was asked what kind of legacy she would like to leave, and she answered, that tombstone question. I hope it says, "Here lies a good judge."
Aw.
So that's what she said.
That sounds like something
Yeah.
a cowgirl would say. Like, keep
But
it simple.
I just really wanted to share that because she really does.
No, thank you for telling me about that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I did not know
Yeah.
about that.
Timmy, did you like that story too?
Yes.
Just yes. Just a yes. Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah, so she was a pretty cool woman, and I really admire her because I mean she's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
wanted to be a lawyer for like
What?
a while. Yeah, I wanted to be a
Why?
constitutional lawyer because I
What?
thought that I would be able to like, help serve the country that way, and I because I've always wanted to be in like public service almost, and like be able to fight for what I believed is right.
Yeah.
Always. Because I was convicted about a certain, I have certain values and was convicted in a certain way. And I was like, I'm going to go out here and change something.
Yeah. It's funny, too. When I was very young, like probably under 6 years old, I wanted to be a police officer because I wanted to, like, fight bad guys. And then as I got older, it was like, oh, that's, like, the last thing
I think
want to be.
kids always want to do, like, some life-saving thing when they grow up. But, like, I kind of moved back from that because I was like, do I really want to read all that stuff? I mean, I love reading. I love reading.
It's so funny to hear you say that.
I love reading. But it's like, I was like, I don't want to get tired of it. Okay, I want to read it as a hobby. I want to read as a hobby.
Yeah.
And not have to be forced to do it.
No, yeah. My aunt, who's a lawyer, she was actually a lawyer for, she did a lot of, like, elder law and stuff like that. She told me, don't become a lawyer, Tara, because it's just the reading. It's just too much reading. And she would show me, like, what you would have to read. It was just like,
I don't think I'd be able to read my own books that I like. So, and I wouldn't have time for that. But Timothy,
I love reading, too.
Timothy,
so
what type of, who do you want to be when you grow up?
A game engineer.
Game engineer.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
That's a very specific thing. Yeah,
That's very good.
At one point, he wanted to build Power Ranger suits.
That's pretty cool, too.
I mean, that's pretty cool, too. He also wanted... I'm going to go down a little, like, track right here. What about the Wildcrats, Timothy? I'm just kidding.
Oh, my gosh, the Wildcrats, yes.
He wanted to build a little, like, suit, like, thing, power suit.
Did you see the Wildcrats where they poured, like, that, like, liquid metal stuff into that anthill, and then they pulled it out, and it was so cool.
I don't know if I did, but that's pretty interesting.
Anyway,
Did they kill ants in the process of that?
Oh my gosh.
Oh
I think
my
they
goodness.
were fire ants. So, you know what? It is justified.
Okay. The animal rights activists are coming after us next, Tara.
Okay.
Thanks.
You know what? Come at me. I don't care.
Be careful what you wish for. No, but that's, so that's... Yeah, good job, Timmy. He's going to be a game engineer, guys. Okay, so.
Oh my
that's
goodness. Cool. Did you hear about what happened to our friend, Siaka? He just got, like, arrested. He got off a plane. He just got arrested.
Yeah.
It was in the news and stuff.
It was. I do believe he's trying to, like, keep it, like.
On the DL?
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty interesting thing, though. I mean, like, y'all have seen it. We don't have to discuss it, but y'all have seen, the stuff in the news, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was just, I think in general, Elon Musk was right. It has gone too far.
Elon Musk? What
Elon
he said?
Musk talked about it.
Oh, wow.
So
look
that's
at that.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
Everybody's talking about stuff right now.
Yeah. Everybody's talking about stuff. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, but there was one thing that, what was the next thing? Oh, yeah. So there's quite a few things that we could talk about now, since we've kind of, like, moved away from stuff. There's a few things, but I'll go down something that I was found very, now I found something that I want, I just got a text. Okay. So, how easily we can get distracted, guys.
I'm so
but,
exhausted tonight. I'm just like,
so,
working all day.
a big, sort of singer,
How big?
So,
how big?
Okay, he's a Spanish singer. He's from Puerto Rico.
Dude,
His name is Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee. I thought you were gonna say Pitbull.
No, I don't think he's from Puerto Rico. I don't think so.
No, he's from Mexico.
Yeah,
you said Spanish.
Okay, well, so Daddy Yankee, he was pretty big. For those of you who don't know, he did reggaeton. Yeah, I don't listen to that at all.
I don't know either.
No, I don't listen to that at all. But he was famous for some of the songs like Despacito or Gasolina. Those are some of the songs that one right there. Yeah. So he was known for those songs, and just like he was pretty famous in that sort of like genre of music. But he just said at a concert, really, really big. He just said that he's now devoting his life to Christ and like leaving the singing world behind now. So he's retiring actually.
Yeah.
To follow Christ.
Oh,
which is crazy, a really, really big thing. One thing he did say, he quoted the book of Matthew saying that for what is good if for a man to see, I messed this up. So if a man gains the world and then like loses his soul, right, loses his life was basically what he was quoting, which is from the book of Matthew, I believe. And that's the one where it's like, why would you gain the world and then lose your own soul? And that's what he was saying during his concert, or at the end of this concert when he was announcing that he was retiring, is like, he has all that he needs. He has the fame, the following and everything. But he said in the end, I hope that all of you follow me to evangelize the world.
Yeah, wow,
which
that's
is
powerful.
Really crazy.
That is actually really cool. Yeah.
Like, that is a really, really crazy thing to me, is that the fact that he found Christ and he was like, I'm willing to leave behind all this in order to follow Christ.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really big, like, testament to, like, I think huge. Everybody should be looking at. And that's just really, like, powerful from the stance that he has.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people,
so much material.
From so much stuff. And that's what the Bible does require, right?
Yeah.
Walking away from everything, all the worldly possessions.
What does it say? It's harder for a rich
man to enter. Yeah.
A camel through an eye of a needle. It's like.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a miracle.
Do you know what that means? The eye of the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is?
To enter the gates through heaven.
Yeah, like the analogy of a camel going through an eye.
Going through the eye of the needle, like it's impossible.
Do you know what the eye of the needle is? Do you know what the eye of the needle is? Because I just recently learned what that was.
Like for stitching?
No. It's like in like old cities. Hmm? It's like there are these gates, and then there's like these little gates, and you can enter like old cities.
Okay.
And they would have these packed camels, and they would try to get it through this little thing, and it's called the eye of the needle. And the camel would like have to like get on all fours and like squat and like have to like shove it, like get through this thing. So it when I learned what that was, because I also used to think it was the stitching.
Yeah, that's what I think.
When I learned that, though, I was like, oh, he's not saying it's impossible. He's saying it's just really difficult. You know what I mean? For like a rich man to go to heaven, it's not impossible. It's just very like you have to like do what that guy did. You have to like do uncomfortable things,
Right,
I can show you what an eye of a needle looks like. Yeah,
but that was a really big thing that I think that was deserves some mention, because everybody is really talking about it, and this
is an eye of a needle. That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. Right. I don't know if the camera can see that, but there you go.
What that looks like? That's like an old it's like an old entrance to cities, and they used to try and get little camels through there. That's what they were talking about. So I was like, wow, see, God's not telling you that you shouldn't be rich because you won't go to heaven. He's saying if you're rich,
it's just much more harder.
It's going to be very difficult. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that guy, Despacito guy. Like, it's, he's having to make hard decisions because he has the material. Mm-hmm. That's very cool. Anyway,
that's crazy,
you want to play a game now?
A game? Do you? I mean, like, we got some more stuff to talk about, but if you want
we do, but I've had such a long day, and I've been working a lot, and I'm very tired.
What game are we talking about?
I've been having I just wanted to play the game of, let's read this article and hear what Ellie thinks.
Oh my goodness, okay. Let's read this article. What does this article pertain? And Timothy can make his own, like, a little opinion,
it's just Apple News. It's just, Earth on verge of 5 catastrophic climate tipping points. Scientists warn. Okay. So humanity faces devastating domino effects, including mass displacement and financial ruin as planet warms.
Wow.
What are your thoughts?
Oh my goodness, the headline.
You can answer with a question. It's okay.
Okay, hold on. So they're saying that, like, financial hardship and what else?
Well, they're saying many of the gravest threats to humanity are drawing closer as carbon pollution heats the planet to ever more dangerous levels. Scientists are warning people.
Right. Well, one thing that scientists also mention and note all the time is that the Earth is always having cycles, and like at one point it was too cold and they thought the Earth was gonna,
Be like
be
Ice
at the
Age.
end, and then now it's being too hot. But the thing is that I think there's even recorded temperatures that this isn't the hottest the Earth has gotten. So it's like
Really?
there's the Earth is in a cycle, and
Yeah.
it goes like through like ups and downs in the temperature, and that's not like something abnormal.
Oh,
Yeah.
It says 5 important natural thresholds already risk being crossed, according to this global tipping point report, and 3 more may be reached in the 2030s.
Very interesting is that the wording in the article is always like makes the person fear almost. Like they use like very scary language in their articles.
I will admit, I'm pretty scared. It's like 2030. I want to be 30.
Okay, 2030 they also said that they would take that you would be owning nothing. Was it 2030 or around that time? I don't know. 2035 was it? I
Owning
don't know.
nothing?
Owning nothing and you'd be happy.
You mean like socialism?
I guess you
Like
could call it that, but it was like one world thing.
Yomni Park warns against selling your belongings to the government.
Right, because of what happened in North Korea.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't, if you know what happened, some of her stories, her grandparents sold their land to the government because they wanted to give it up for the socialist dream. And it didn't take only like a few decades for it to become the North Korea that it is today.
Which is crazy. Yeah, but continue reading.
Okay, triggering these planetary shifts will not cause temperatures to spiral out of control in the coming centuries, but will unleash dangerous and sweeping damage to people and nature that cannot be undone.
Okay. Cannot be undone. Okay.
Tipping points in the Earth system pose as threats of a magnitude never faced by humanity. I thought that said humanitarian. I was like, that's humanitarian crisis. Anyway, by humanity, said Tim Lenton from the University of Exeter's Global Systems Institute. That's funny. So he's a professor.
Okay.
That's interesting. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
At my college, I like my college a lot, but it's funny how many times, like I just noticed the other day that how many times they refer, when they're like talking about an expert, they always like say this professor from Yale or this, researching professor from Harvard. And it's like, that's funny because those are educators. Like that's not even like, those people aren't in the, like they're in the field, but they're not like they're practicing the field of teaching.
Right.
They're not in the field practicing you know what I mean?
That is an interesting, yeah. It's an interesting point raised.
But it's like, who are the experts in our society that we should trust? Is it truly professors? Because are those the people who are in the field, or are they just studying the field and like, teaching other people about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
All right, let's see what the end of this article, because it's really, really long. So we're going to go to the bottom and see what it's saying. Around the world, readers... Oh, that was an advertisement. Okay, we avoid the trap that befalls much U.S. media, the tendency born of a desire to please all sides, to engage in false equivalence in the name of neutrality. Sorry, I'm so tired right now. While fairness guides everything we do, we know there is a right and a wrong position in the fight against racism and for reproductive justice.
Wait, what's happening? Go further up and see what has that to do with anything.
It says here, when we report on issues like the climate crisis, we're not afraid to name who is responsible.
Okay.
And as global news organization, we're able to provide a fresh outsider perspective on U.S. politics, and so often missing from the insular American media bubble.
No, that's true. A lot of other news medias add more insight than us. But what is?
I don't know, but I just remembered something so funny.
What is it?
It was Elon Musk. He was at this convention, and he was up on the stage. And the reporter was asking him, because he's obviously does not go along with the, they said mention America bubble. He is not in that bubble,
Right.
And he says kind of what he thinks, what he believes. He's like, Candace Owens is also similar to that. They can't really be like, they're not going to be like put in a certain category because they obviously say what they believe, And then someone said to him, well, your advertisement is taken away because you said stuff that was anti-Semitic. And then Elon Musk said, I did not mean to say anything I don't know, that was not my intention behind what I said. And then he said, well, your advertisement, is being taken away. What do you have to say about that? And then Elon was like, good, don't advertise. Oh man, I wish we could react to that video right now. He was like, don't advertise. And then the guy was like, what? And the CEO of Disney was in the audience. And he went, if you're gonna, he was like, if you're going to manipulate me, or what did he say, threaten me with taking away my advertising, like with money, then like go screw yourself. He said that, but he didn't say it. He said that. And then the CEO of Disney was in the audience. And he was like, F-Y, Bob, F-Y. and it was just so funny.
Okay.
Because
little side moment.
It was crazy because it's as a consumer, I rely on Disney. You know what I mean? I rely on these things, and it's like it was so nice to see someone who's not going along with it stand up to a lot of these big organizations. You know what I mean?
Timothy, what do you think about that for so far? Have you been following along? Do you think the world is going to end?
From the climate?
In like 10 years or something?
Well, no, but when God comes, well, yes, when God comes it will end. He could come like right now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, wise words from Timmy.
Yeah, those were
yeah.
words.
He could come. He could come at like any time. That's right, Timmy.
That's comforting to think about.
Yeah,
we'll have to.
At least for some, right?
Yeah, that's why we shouldn't be afraid. That's why like a lot of this is just like fun to me.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing that is very interesting is because people who don't have assurance of what's gonna happen in the end, they're going to be afraid and scared and read those articles and be even more scared, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something that's why this whole entire generation is pretty afraid of everything.
Yeah.
If we boil it down to everything, it's like, where's your soul going to end up?
You know what I've noticed among our age group, especially after COVID, is like an intense apathy. Like it's more apathetic than I've like ever seen, you know? And I can't tell if, like, I'm just getting older and, like, teenagers have always been, like, apathetic, But I don't know, though. Even at my school, it's, like, everybody's just zoned out or on their phone. They, like, nobody wants to get up. Nobody wants to, like, you know what I mean? Nobody wants to talk. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. Have you noticed this at all? Like, just apathy.
Nobody
just, like,
wants to talk?
Just, like, reserved. Like, like this. Like, just, like...
Yeah. Kind of like just, I get what you're saying.
Have you seen that?
I definitely get what you're saying.
I honestly can't tell if I'm just getting older
sure.
or not.
I'm not sure if I've seen that myself. Maybe I have. It's true that I think that there's quite a few people like that. But then I can see some overly, like, emotional people. Like, it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, like mental illness and stuff?
Yeah, you could say, like, mental illness, but not even that. It's just, like, being just overly, like, not everybody has a mental illness, no.
Yeah.
But, like...
Well, there were, like, the rates for depression among Gen Z have never been higher in history for, like, any other generation.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
And
we
anxiety
have that.
Usually goes along with
that's
that.
That's something that we usually... Yeah, I know. It's just something that's been very interesting. Anxiety, depression, all these things. But, again, like I was saying, it just all boils down to one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But was there anything in that article that's also interesting?
It's pretty much the same, just like skimming it. It just keeps saying, like, there are these risks, the temperature keeps going up, and here are these people who, like, agree with it,
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it just keeps saying that. But you're right. I like what you said, where it was just like, the language is made to be scary. They're trying to, and it's like, scare us into what? Buying a Tesla? I can't afford Tesla.
No.
Like, so.
I mean, very interestingly is that they are scaring us. I mean, if you all look at the bigger picture, a lot of people think it's conspiracy theory, and maybe so, but it could be the fact that, it could be, like, one world, like, order is one thing that people keep on bringing up, which isn't technically conspiracy theory, because if you look at the videos that,
yeah, I'd be interested to hear more about that, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at a video, there's a video that was posted where all of, like, you would be happy by a certain time. It's coming up very quickly, like in 10 years or so, I think. And that you will own nothing and still be very happy. And that's what they're trying to sell into, like, us believing, again, with the, like, the socialist thing that you were talking about. So that's a very interesting thing that I just, you know, if you believe it or not, that's up to you. But there's a video out there that
But it's not even, here's something I've been trying to do lately. I've been trying to get people to see what freedom they are taking advantage of every single day. Because it's, like, we are like,
it is,
I'm sorry, purple hair dye? You think the government will prioritize purple hair dye
for you? No.
Or are they gonna ration your food and tell you don't need purple hair dye to be happy, you know? And then it's just like, so, okay, well, you don't need stuff like that, but have you been taking the benefits of capitalism for granted? You know,
like, a lot of the times the funny thing is, right, the irony is that a lot of these people say, like, they're for, like, socialism, and then they hold, like, a little Starbucks in their hands, and you're like, oh, okay, sure.
Well, Starbucks, right. Like, they might pair with the government, you never know.
Yeah, but the
like,
thing
get
is
your daily
that
caffeine shot.
Oh my goodness. Imagine. Timmy, what do you think? Would you be happy if you owned nothing?
No.
Okay, yeah. Do you like to work for your stuff? Does it make you have a sense of accomplishment? Like, once you're working all day and then you finally get something that you've been working for, doesn't it feel good?
Yes.
Also,
one word answers.
Also, back to what he was saying earlier, though, which is he has dreams to pursue certain career paths.
Mm-hmm.
When the government owns everything, that includes your job and your career path.
That's true. I know that there's certain, I forgot which country is it, but they take, like, yeah, I think they take tests. I mean, I feel like this is almost like a fever dream that I'm, like, remembering this. Like, this is so weird. Like, who would do this? I don't know. It's like this country takes tests, and then it tells you which school you're probably going to go to.
Anytime you want to work.
And then, like, you're going to work in this certain thing because you're more talented in this area.
If you apply for a job in the government, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They have you take a test, and then they put you where you are mentally. They also do the same if you, like, go into the military. They'll give you a test, and they'll decide if you're on the front lines or if you're in the room, deciding what what the aircraft is going to do. Like, they do it that way too. So test taking is a form of that kind of stuff if you go into certain fields. But if you look at it like, okay, like entrepreneurs or small businesses or alternative, lifestyle, those things thrive the most in capitalism. Small businesses thrive the most in capitalism.
Very interesting. I don't know if we can cover this with the amount of time we have, but small businesses, talking about that, one thing that there was a study done by the 2023 Bentley Gallup Businesses and Society report that they did this year. Yeah. So there was a study done asking Americans what they believe about, AI, so artificial intelligence. And most of them were very negative. And this is when it talks about jobs and businesses, small businesses, right? Because this affects everybody, right? Or just businesses in general.
Funny.
75% of Americans believed, or the ones that were surveyed, believed the numbers of jobs will decrease. Okay.
I think that's obvious.
Yeah. And then half said AI offers equal amounts of good and harm, while 40% said that it'll do more harm than good.
I think that it's interesting that they said small business because I'm going to pose this as a question. Wouldn't small businesses have more resources and more, wouldn't they be able to afford resources that AI can provide? For example, if you need a good graphic, is it is for a small business, is it easier to go out, find a graphic person, have to like cycle through that? Usually you have to get several, and then, you have to do surveys. It's a whole lot of work. Or just get an AI to like spit out 5 options for you.
mean, it would be easier for them, but the thing is that you would be eliminating that other person's job.
The graphics person, right? Well, where do most graphic designers work in general nowadays? I mean, being an artist is something that it's already hard,
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's like, I know so many struggling artists, and it's just like...
I know struggling artists, and I know successful artists.
Yeah.
Because my family is filled with... I know my family members are artists.
Yeah.
And they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm on that end. I mean...
Yeah, no, I know successful artists too, but I don't necessarily think that AI would even hurt the artists that are doing well for themselves, because, I mean, again, I'll ask this as a question, like, would an artist having more resources from AI, like, would that be bad? Like, now you're talking about a graphic artist who maybe can work several jobs at once because they figured out how to talk to AI. Yeah. They figured out how to get it, because that's a whole art form in itself, is getting AI to spit out what you want it to. That's a whole different thing.
You do need to know what you're asking AI to do, and exactly precisely. Thing is that AI doesn't have emotions, so it can't think like a person would necessarily through different stuff. But I mean, it's close enough, I guess.
Yeah. I asked Photoshop, the new generative AI that's on Photoshop. I asked it to do a brush stroke, and it gave me like just a picture of a paintbrush, and I was like,
like thanks.
Yeah, no, like I went, but I don't know. So I think that, I don't know. I'm personally, like, just for me, I feel optimistic about AI.
Okay.
And should you? I don't know. You gotta ask yourself these questions. Maybe it's not all doom and gloom after all.
Maybe, but it could also be pretty scary. I mean, there's some things coming out about it, and I don't have all the facts of that, and I won't say I'm an AI expert, because I definitely am not. I am not at all. But it's just, just thinking and throwing ideas out there.
Really quickly, I have a story. So I do know a lot about chess. I've been in the chess world a long time. But, like, AI first entered through the chess world. It was all about artificial intelligent computers that could play chess with, like...
Yeah, I remember saying that.
Yeah, it was like... That was in the late 90s, or I want to say. I don't know. Maybe don't quote me on that.
I've seen that stuff, yeah.
But they eventually... they were trying to see how smart can AI get. Can they beat these world masters, these world grandmasters, like all this stuff, right? And then so they paired up this AI named Deep Blue with this grandmaster, Kasparov. And they played, and Kasparov, like, was beating the AI. And then these, like, technician people came in and, like, did some reprogramming to the AI, and then the AI beat Kasparov. But it was like the AI wasn't smart enough to beat the grandmaster by itself. It needed human help. So everybody knew it was like a sham, right? Because it was just like, oh, the AI couldn't beat Kasparov, because the AI, even though it's a master of strategy and calculation and just that perfect, there's no flaws in its calculation. It lacked that human creativity, that innovative. It lacked those things, because how can it have that? And this is what I keep saying about AI is, how can humans out-God God? Like, we're made by God, right?
That's true.
So it's like, humans made AI. Can what man did, can what man make outdo what God made? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm thinking of, like, hold on, what's that one movie with
Terminator?
With Keanu Reeves in it, where they had a bunch of, like, robots at the very end, or whatever they're called.
Matrix?
Yeah.
Is it Matrix?
Yeah, it's Matrix.
I didn't see the new Matrix.
That was a weird movie, but I loved it.
The old Matrix?
It was really cool. I love
Such a classic, man. Oh my gosh, yeah, the old Matrix, yeah.
I just love Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Anything with Keanu Reeves?
Young Keanu Reeves,
yeah. It's good. Anyways, that's random.
You wake up from this podcast and it turns out I was just in the Matrix the whole time. Anyway.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't sure how much time we have left.
It's been an unusual night.
It's been like a very interesting night, and
been throwing
if
Ellie a lot of curveballs.
People, it's okay. Okay, yeah, we got like around 5 minutes left, so I guess we could talk about like one more thing that I have on here. There's some stuff happening. I could pick from quite a few stuff actually.
Can I discuss one of the things that I've got going?
What?
So the Turning Point. Me and Ellie actually started a Turning Point together, separate from 180, but just another thing to involve the youth in.
I don't even know what's happening with that.
You don't? I know, because you're not, but I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, what's happening?
She's the vice, right?
I am the vice chair.
Yeah, you're the vice. Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes. We're going to, pass these off later, but it's really cool that we sat there in the meeting with Justin, who oversees us, and, started and everything. Anyway, so it will be meeting at CV Church Wednesday nights, 7 to 8:30 p.m. We're going to have weekly meetings there. Mm-hmm. And right now it's just for youth, middle school, high school. Okay. But if adults want to come there, they have to sign up as a volunteer for now. We're going to try and expand to have a whole different college meeting, in a separate area of the church. But
cool.
we're going to provide, we're going to give food and snacks and stuff, and so yeah, I don't know. Justin sent me 8 weeks of curriculum, and I made a schedule for the church, so it's all in action.
It's
so
cool. Yeah.
Turning Point at CV Church. Yeah, so that should be cool.
That's fun. So yeah, if you guys are local in the area, you could check out that. And that actually brings me to another thing that's actually around the area. So in Glendale. So AM 870. So AM 870 is hosting a toy drive. So we talked about one last week, and if you want to hear more details about that, we did post a video on that other sort of toy drive thing. And now this is a different one.
Yeah.
I'm like over here now. But it's going to be hosted, so this one for AM 870 is going to be at Friday, December 8th from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Yikes.
So that's pretty in the morning. I mean,
if you going to stay up all night.
I mean, it's 7 to 7 and 8 is more you can come around those times. Those are better,
Those are
but it's till
Christmas
9.
hot chocolate times.
I know I have to be there pretty early.
Yeah.
I have to be there before 6. So
before 6.
And I live West San Fernando Valley.
You're not gonna drive, right?
I'm just gonna cry.
Sleep. No.
But it's gonna be held at 701 North Brand Boulevard in Glendale, and you can drop off new unwrapped gift toys and gift cards if you want.
Awesome.
If you're feeling blessed. If you're blessed and you're feeling like you want to bless others, go ahead and drop off some gifts there from 6 to 9. So this is going to be a great opportunity to just, do something good for Christmas, holiday season. And this is something that's going to be nice. So, yeah, go ahead and check that out if you want to. So it's going to be this Friday. And I'll be there. So if you guys want to see me. Today, what's so funny? Today, people are starting to recognize me.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Don't let it go to your head.
No, it's the fact that it's actually scary.
Oh, because they might hurt you?
No, it's just the fact that I don't know those people.
Oh, no. Oh, man. Yeah, just put it in God's hands.
No, yeah.
Think about how Jesus felt, man. People knew who he was, and then they wanted to hurt him. Just always Father's protecting you, so don't worry.
I just got a message from my mom. It says Walk in the Clouds by Keanu Reeves. That's a good movie, by the way, guys.
Oh my goodness, I still need to watch that. Yes,
it's so good.
Watch that.
You guys need to watch it. That's your homework. Go watch that movie.
Go watch that movie.
Go watch the movie.
My homework is to go take a nap. I'm very tired.
Yeah, but we are gonna end this podcast now. Okay, but we love y'all. Thanks for. That was random.
Yes, thank you for joining
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
If you want to check out Instagram, it's going to be at 180.shift. Twitter and TikTok is 180shift. Facebook is Tara, letter N, Ellie. YouTube is Shift 180, and then our website is 180shift.org. I memorized all that, guys.
Yes,
but go check us out there. If you want to join the podcast, have a cool, interesting thing you'd like to talk about, let us know. We'd love to talk to you, even if you don't even agree with us.
And
we'd love to do that.
And we got some very exciting things. Zoom. So if you're not local to this area, we're going to make it so you can even be on it remotely. And then the other thing is, having videos incorporated in this so we can have a live response and conversation based on stuff that everyone's seeing. And
Timmy, what do you want to say?
Follow.
That's perfect.
Follow Jesus.
Yes, that too.
Yes.
Good job, Timmy. Good job. Glad you're on, Timmy.
Yeah, no, it was so nice having you on, Timmy. You brought a good perspective of the next generation. And it's good. You don't seem nearly as apathetic as Gen Z seems. Apathetic is like this. To me, apathetic is like this. It's like
Timothy is not like that. No.
look
at his smile. Look at
Neither
his
are
smile.
my kids. My kids are so happy. I'm
That's
just
good.
like, well,
That's good.
I know.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, anyways, guys,